Hi guys, welcome to Unit 8 Week 1 in Common 10. All right, so Unit 8 Week 1, we are going to do Unit 8 in two sections, just like we did for our Culture and Communication section. So we will be spending two different due dates on this. And it is an assignment that you will hopefully use past this class. So one of the things that we learn in Com 110 has to deal with professional communication. So one of the goals of this class is that you are prepped to go out into the workforce, to be able to conduct interviews, those types of things. So we'll be working on that in here. So we'll be reading chapter 10 in your textbook. This is going to be important to help you prepare for some of the work we're doing this week and then some of the work we'll be doing next week as well. We are going to be working on a major project over the next two sections, so Unit 8 Week 1 and Unit 8 Week 2. There are 3 parts, and all of those combine in to equal 1 grade for your professional communication project. So here is the description of the whole project. I'm going to open that up. For this particular week, we're only dealing with Part 1 and Part 2. Part 3 is a separate one that we will do next week. All right, so the purpose of this assignment is to familiarize you with the role that communication skills play in researching, interviewing, and preparing for a job in your field. So we will spend a lot of our time on the interview portion, both preparing for it and actually doing it. If you haven't done some interviewing before, this is a great chance to start flexing that muscle. If you have, it's always good to get some extra practice. So Part 1 deals with research. So we are going to do some research for your career field. So your goal, this will be the easiest part of this whole project, is to go through and find a job description for the field that you want to enter. So a couple of guidelines here. One, when you're researching, you want to make sure that you are picking something that's going to match sort of your level of experience. So let's say that I want to be a police officer, okay? And I have no prior experience. So I'm going to school for BLET. I'm kind of working through that. And then I'm going to go out and get a job in the field once I'm done. So I would want to look for positions, A, maybe in a town or a city that interests me, but 2, that are entry level, okay? So 0 to 2 years of experience required. So a beginning police officer, same thing. And let's say you want to be a psychologist, okay? So that might require a master's or a doctoral degree. So you're thinking, when you look at this, not at your current level of education, but like where you want to be once you're done. And so again, I would look for an entry level, something that only requires 0 to a couple years of experience. Sometime on job descriptions, they will put like 0 to 3 years. You won't always find ones that say like entry level, but that's fine. So you are going to find that and you're going to screenshot it. So instead of sending me a link, a screenshot is great, or you can download like a PDF of the job description if they have it, because that sometimes like things change or they close a position and then you're basing your project on this particular job at this particular company or organization. So I need to be able to see what it is. So take a screenshot and then you're just going to upload it here. Now, let's say you're already currently in your career field. You are going to look for sort of your next promotion. So let's say you're a lineman, okay? You're already in your career field. Maybe you want to be a supervisor. So you would look for an open position for kind of the next step. I've been teaching in higher education for 12 years. So I'm kind of at my current level, but maybe I would look at something that required a PhD, or maybe I would look at like a department chair type of thing if I was kind of looking for that next step. So again, you're not locked into this, but it's just something to kind of help us prepare for a job that we might want one day. So you're just going to submit the job description there. Again, choose a particular organization that you want to work for and a particular job. If there is an organization that you are dying to work for, but they do not have a current job opening, that's fine. Send me a link to, go in a Google Doc, put a link to the organization, and then find a job description, a general job description of that particular type of position, and just paste it in the Word doc, and you can upload that. That's fine. So probably not a great example because they just had a bunch of layoffs, but say I was like super into gaming and I wanted to work for Epic Games and Cary. So I might post a link to Epic Games, and then maybe I want to be like an HR manager. So I could go in and find a general description of what an HR manager does and post that in there. So again, if you really have a place you want to do, you can kind of make that work. Okay, part 2. So why is all of this important? So we want to submit part 1 because part 2 you're going to base off of that job description. So one of the most important things that we do is prepare for that interview. You never want to walk into an interview cold, okay? So when you go into that interview, somebody who's interviewing you thinks you should hopefully assume that you've already done the research. So you've thoroughly read the job description, you have thoroughly researched that organization, and you have a very good idea of what that particular job does. So you've done some research about that. So you are going to come up with and do some research on this organization. So here are 3 general questions. You're just going to submit these in a Word document. It doesn't have to be in any specific format. It doesn't have to be an MLA. I do ask that you double space it and you can just free type. Or some people like to number 1, 2, 3, and then answer the questions under each. That's fine. It says 2 to 3 pages double spaced. I think that's probably what you'll need to answer the questions. But if you feel like you thoroughly answered it and you're at 1.5 pages or just almost 2, that's fine. I mean, I'm not committed to those page lengths. So the first thing you're going to do is provide a brief description of the organization and the company. So do some research on the company, who are they? How are they founded? What services, goods, etc. do they offer? Okay. Then also include some description on what that position does. What does that position do in that particular company? How do they contribute to the organization as a whole? Number 2, you're going to need to go find that organization's mission statement. Now, it might be something else like value statement, vision statement, whatever you can find on there. You're going to find something on every organization. What is the thing that they're selling? So a lot of times the vision or the mission statement can be found on the About Us section. So go find that, type it in there. And then I want you to connect it to your own career goals and values and personal interests. How does that mission statement align with your career goals, your personal values and interests? And be as specific as possible. This is a great thing to bring up in an interview. You will really impress your interview panel if you can connect their mission statement to your personal values and interests, okay? And then number 3, whenever you go to an interview, you need to come with questions. They are going to ask you questions for sure, but you also need to prepare questions to take in. So I'm having you come up with 3 questions. So a couple of things you should not ask. Never in a first interview, which is what we're basing this off of, you never, ever, ever ask about salary or benefits. That is only something you discuss once an offer is on the table. So no salary, no benefits. Included in that, what I would say, flexible work policy. If it doesn't state it in there, don't ask about it in the first interview. That's a negotiation thing later. Vacation days, time off, etc. The reason why you don't want to do those is it's just a little premature. You're kind of assuming that you're already going to get that offer. And those are nuts and bolts conversations that should happen after you've been given the offer. You want to use your questions to impress your interview panel, right? So you want to make sure you're not asking something that's easily found on the job description or the website, okay? What I would do is showcase that I've done my research. So I see that you are working on blank initiative. Tell me how this aligns with the strategic goals of the organization, okay? I see that if they have a recent news section, you can comment on something that you read about something that they've recently done. Talk about the culture of the organization. Ask questions. So it's not enough to just know about the job, but don't you want to know about the type of culture you're going to be walking into? That can make or break your happiness at a particular place. So utilize your questions to learn more about the place that you want to work and the people you want to work for. Maybe you want to know your boss's management style, how they evaluate employees and create plans for improvement, that type of thing. And then also, again, showcase your knowledge. So anytime you can throw in some of the initiatives that they're doing, it's a great place to give them a little bit of background on you and show that you've done your work, right? So you are going to submit that here. Okay, so for this week, it's just the job description and then I'm going to call it a paper, but it's not a paper. It's just a response that goes through those 3 questions. All right, if you have any questions about a particular job or job description that you want to run by me, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to say that looks great, or I might dig a little bit deeper. But this really, should be based on whatever it is you are interested in. All right, have a great week.